Looking through the lens, opinions of three friends. Looking through the lens, sometimes they don't make sense.
Oh, hello guys. Welcome back to another episode of Through the Lens. Today, as usual, we got your boys, me, Patronus Gold, on my right, Mr. Zephyros.
Howdy y'all doing?
On my left, special guest, as usual, Mr. Kaijin.
Hello.
And on my far left, the handsomest guy in the room, Sun Dude.
Handsomest guy on the far right, thank you very much. Hello.
That's right.
All right. As you guys have probably guessed, it's that time of the week again where we review WandaVision. We're up to episode 7 now. This one's called Breaking the Fourth Wall. And as always, this is your full spoiler warning right here. Spoiler zone for the rest of the video.
I remembered my recorder this time.
Triumphant return of the recorder. Let's just jump into it with first impressions then. What do we think?
Nice.
Nice.
Things are happening.
Things are happening. I will say, I'm kind of torn with this episode. I like the Office stuff because I like the Office. That's cool. I really like how
It do be
it's not
Modern
just
Family
like
though.
sitcom. Yeah, it do be Modern Family as well. Sitcom, and it's not like sitcom and main plot because now this main plot is in the sitcom, so there's basically no. You're not like sacrificing any time now. It's all like the pacing is like actually really good now, unlike the
First few episodes.
Yeah. Though I will say, in terms of overall series pacing, this one's one of the closer in pacing in terms of the overall story to those first 3 episodes, because this is a lot of like setup and stuff. Not too much happens, I'd say. Definitely, it's building a lot to big things. We get left off with a pretty big, I'd say, cliffhanger then at the ending. Yeah. Also, for me personally, there's some stuff that I feel like payoff to certain things wasn't that great, but they might be like trying to throw us off a bit. So I'll talk about that more when we get into like deep into the writing, but like at first glance, it seems a little bit disappointing to me. I don't know about you guys.
It was
The surprise.
amazing.
There was a surprise that wasn't really surprising.
Yeah.
You can say it. It's what it was. But
yeah.
yeah.
That was a bit.
Agatha. Yeah.
Well, I guess Agatha and Sword Air Force or some shit.
Yeah. That was something I actually really didn't like. The Air Force. Yeah. That's it with first impressions. We'll just like skim over the acting really easy. Same as every week. Good stuff.
Solid. Very well done from the actors.
Yeah.
Though Wanda's definitely much more comedic in this one, I'd say. Because this is like with the Office style, you get those like interviews, so Wanda's like being a bit, Wanda. Yeah. Also, I'd say this has some of my favorite Agnes moments. I don't really laugh that much at Agnes in the past few episodes. She's very like over the top and stuff, but she actually has some pretty good lines in this one. The I bite children or something. I bit a kid once. Yeah, that's a good line. Yeah. All right. Writing. I'll just go through plot points and like you guys give your reaction, stuff like that. We open with the simulations kind of breaking. Wanda's very exhausted. Her power's weakened. The kids can't play the video games properly because the system keeps switching. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a tiny little thing here, but I'm not sure you guys know this, but Billy was talking about like the noises in his head.
Oh,
That
yeah.
could potentially be important later on, I feel.
Probably like some telepathy or some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got the Office intro. Well, like it's actually, I don't remember what the show's called, but it's a sitcom that was made by the Russo brothers, I think.
Happy.
Yeah. A reference to Happy Hogan, of course. Yeah.
Wow.
With the instrumentals of The Office and the title of Modern Family. And it says created by Wanda Maximoff. That's a good joke there. Little reference to how it's all supposedly all Wanda at the beginning,
Yeah.
Then we cut to the outside world, and this is it's a very brief section, but I think it's probably important. Hayward plans to launch something. He's preparing to launch something with his people. Yeah, that seems important. You also get a cool shot of like the hex walls, like as actual the hex. That's pretty cool. And you never see from them again in the episode. Yeah, I feel like they're leading to some big payoff in the next episode.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, then we get to my favorite parts of the episode, which is I guess you could call it the B plot, but it's also kind of important, where like Vision and Darcy. And so you get like the real like Office not really, that's more of the Office style comedy there. Yeah, bit of a fun road trip with them.
I get the feeling Darcy isn't the best at explaining things.
Well, I mean, yeah, she doesn't know much more than what they know, yeah.
Yes.
Sure, fair enough.
Yeah. She knows about as much as we do, honestly, right?
No, but I mean, like when she was explaining what happened to Vision, like the plot of the Infinity One game.
Oh well, she catches him up on everything. That's a bit later in the story, but like, yeah.
I know, but at the same time, like, when you see like Vision's like, oh, so this happened to me, it's sort of like, you kind of get the feeling that she didn't explain it like super well,
Played for laughs. That's like the point of that. This whole entire section is mainly played for laughs.
True.
Though something I'll get to later. First of all, you get to see Darcy as an escape artist, Vision comes over and is like, yo, you remember what happened the other night when I like died, And then she thinks Vision's hitting on her, as you would. Yeah. Then we cut back to the house, where there's a few things here that seem kind of important. Wanda says that if Vision doesn't want to be here, there's nothing she can do about it. So at this point, I think it's pretty clear that like she's got no control over Vision anymore. Like she's like, you know what I mean? She's
She
not
never
like
did though.
manipulating him anymore. He's well on his own now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She also says that Pietro is not their real uncle, which we come back to later, but that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't. Okay, keep going.
No, you can add to your point now.
Okay, so it wasn't. Oh, you know how they said before? Maybe it was Wanda like subconsciously bringing Pietro, right?
I think we can rule that out.
Yeah, it's definitely him.
Yeah.
It's
something
Agnes.
with Agnes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Agnes.
A lot of the episode is just Wanda having an existential crisis.
Life has no meaning.
So to help Agatha takes the kids away. Very helpful. What a good person, Agnes. Yeah. You get her funny line about how she did bite a kid once. That was a good joke.
Ooh,
Okay, you get the entire. Sorry, yep.
I was gonna say, she bit a kid. Why would someone bite a kid? Does that mean she's a vampire? Blade setup?
Well, it's also
Nah, it's a long shot, but I don't know.
definitely played for jokes, but
Yeah.
I do think there could be a sinister undertone, which we can talk about this in the theory section, because I feel like there's something going on with the way the kids in general, are presented throughout the show. Because you get more kids in this show as well. I mean,
And
this
also
episode.
something else happens later on that also
yeah.
suggests Blade. So we'll just keep going with the
I
episode.
should have also said back at the start, you see a milk carton that says something about missing children.
Yeah.
Important foreshadowing. Okay. You get Hayward's basically entire motivation, which is he wants Vision back. He had no luck trying to bring online until Wanda had resurrected him. So now he sees him as the opportunity to. He was the one who sent the email to Vision in that episode with Norm and the office people.
Oh yeah.
And so he's basically setting up Vision to try and escape so that he can get it back. That's why he's tracking him and stuff like that. Then we get a pretty disappointing scene where Monica and Jimmy meet up with the Air Force sword agent people who were friends with.
Yeah, that was kind of underwhelming. Yeah.
Yes, but we could talk about this more in theories, but I feel like that's not the entirety of the engineer storyline. I think this is Vision wakes up Darcy as Darcy, then they go on their road trip, and that happens. Interesting scene you get with back in the house with Wanda doing her interview thing, and then the interviewer says, "Do you think maybe this is what you deserve?" And then she's like, "You're not supposed."
Oh yeah.
Foreshadowing again for the reveal at the end. Then you get the ad for this episode. It's an ad for a antidepressant, Nexus. You want to elaborate on that, Mr. Sunman?
Did some research last night. Nexus is like the gateway between realities in Marvel. Nexus just has to do with multiple realities.
Yeah.
And also in the ad you saw in the background, there was like a box of multivitamins, but it only said multi, so like multiverse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Agatha and the kids bonding with the rabbit, Billy with his telepathy notices he's quiet on the inside, referencing how she's not who she appears to be. Back with Monica, you basically get some origin stuff for her superhero, Photon. She tries to drive the rover into the Hex. It fails, and half of it turns into a Ute. But then she realizes, oh shit, maybe I can run through. So she runs through. You get this really cool sequence, very impressive visual effects, where she's running through, and you get all the voiceovers from Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, those people. And she's also
didn't we hear her mother?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. She's wearing the Photon color scheme, which is a cool little detail there. And then she comes out. She sees some fucking everything in like weird vision.
She's on shrooms, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, leading theory, if we want to talk about that seriously, is that she can see like radiation, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, she's basically full photon powers now, as is kind of been teased throughout the show. Back with Vision and Darcy. Vision gets brought up to speed on like the events of Endgame. He also makes a comment that the impediments on the road are caused by Wanda not wanting him to return home. So he's like very, very aware of everything that's going on. Though an interesting point Darcy brings up is that she thinks the love between Wanda and Vision is actually real.
He's still alive.
Maybe that points towards the show might actually have a decently happy ending, you know?
Yeah.
Back with Monica, she arrives, she goes into Wanda's house, and she's like, Hayward, she talks about Hayward's motivation, how Hayward's trying to take Vision. You know? And then Wanda be like, fuck you, and throws her away. But then
she's black.
Monica does a superhero landing because she's photon. And there's a really nice scene here where Monica talks to Wanda about her pain being her truth and stuff. And she's so close to actually changing Wanda's mind until Agatha, Agnes comes along and she's like, nah. Back on the road, more shenanigans. Oh, like I was saying before, we actually see more kids in this episode as well.
Oh yeah, I should tell more.
Vision flies off because he's like, why am I doing this interview? I could just be going there. And here we get basically the ending. Agnes's house, Wanda's there. She's watching Yo Gabba Gabba, and she's like, yo, where the kids at? Agnes be like, they're in the basement. So she goes to the basement, but whoops, she's walked into a dungeon.
No, the Yo Gabba Gabba thing. Yeah. The Yo Gabba Gabba people were like singing jump, jump, jump. It's like they were egging Wanda to go and jump into the basement.
How you jump into a basement?
Ooh.
Also, we should talk about there was the cicada, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah. And that was a reference to like Silence of the Lambs, I guess.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
So cool stuff. Also, cicada is like it represents immortality. Could be related to how Agnes is like this immortal witch. Yeah. Which I think we'll talk about more later about what Agatha is actually who Agatha actually is, and then we can discuss some more theories later on.
Yeah, I've got that in the theory section. Yeah, we get the creepy dungeon. You see the magic book. Do you know what the book is, Sonny?
Nope.
I forgot. New Rockstars literally said the name of this book.
The Quran. The Q-Iron.
Hold on, 2 seconds. The book is most likely to be the Darkhold, and the Darkhold, it ties in a whole bunch of things. But a notable thing is that it was made by Chiffon, and Chiffon in the comics is who gave Wanda her chaos magic powers.
Yeah. It is also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show. Yeah.
Although Kevin Feige, didn't Kevin Feige say he didn't want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be canon?
Well, but they did hint at it earlier in the show with the soap ads. I don't know.
In any case,
isn't everything becoming canon now if this is the multiverse?
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't see it connecting to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as much as it's going to be like a whole nother thing on its own.
Yeah.
Some people have also said that it could be the Necronomicon, but the Necronomicon in Marvel did come from the Darkhold anyways.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it goes.
We get a pretty amazing musical number revealing it was Agatha all along, and that she killed Sparky, which was, if you guys remember, I was saying that as a theory in that episode when we did that. It might have been Agatha. Yeah. And we get a little mid-credit. Oh, yeah, sorry, go. Yeah.
Senor Scratchy
Yeah.
is likely to be Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratchy. In the comics, she has a son, Nicholas Scratchy, who's a wizard. And it's not out of the question to assume that this rabbit, Senor Scratchy, could be her son. And when we saw her Agatha stroking the rabbit, it's not out of the question to assume that she might have been placing like doing some magic on Senor Scratchy or something.
It was cliche as hell there.
True. But also later on, you can get into some theories about Pietro and Scratchy.
Yeah,
continue.
We're almost there. We get a mid-credit scene where Monica looks in the hatch, and you'll notice that when she looks in the hatch, there are these purple things, and that makes her eyes
like the exit of the basement.
Yeah. And then Mr. Pietro appears and goes, "Snoop is gonna snoop." Yep, that's the everything that happens in the episode. Yeah, we'll go to theories now. What do you think are gonna happen to the children?
Well, they're probably in the basement somewhere.
Yeah.
In the comics, they were just, or in some of the comics, they were just fake.
Yeah.
And as a chance, as an opportunity for Agatha, or maybe her unrevealed psychic Mephisto, to harvest Wanda's powers. But if the children are real, another comic book series also made it so that Agatha would be taking the children's powers.
Yeah.
So it could go either way.
And speaking of children, since we got the reveal that Agatha was controlling Pietro, right? You remember back in Halloween episode where Pietro was asking, like, where did you keep all these children and stuff? Could that maybe have a different meaning, I guess, if you think that Agatha was asking that? Like, Agatha wants more children.
Ooh, potentially.
Yeah.
Is there something in, like, Marvel about a villain who wants children? Who need children?
If you look at
just weird, man.
Generally, like witches in, it's like just the witches mythos in like our world. They're all about like eating children and shit. Maybe something similar going on, because then we can go back to the joke about her biting children. You know.
Well, maybe.
It might just be a big joke about witches, you know. But like, or maybe, you know.
I think we also need to touch on what is Agatha basically.
A witch.
Her anniversary with Ralph, which was told in one of the episodes to be June 2nd. June 2nd was the start of the Salem witch trials, and Agatha Harkness is a witch that survived the witch trials.
Oh, like historically?
To Monday. Not, I don't know historically, but definitely in the Marvel comics.
Okay.
And the cicada immortality, she's lived until now. Scratchy being her son. Also, you know, just witches in general. We don't know what witches do.
Okay, what if, like you said, she's immortal, right? But what if the way she keeps herself immortal is through children?
Oh, that is true, yeah.
Young blood. That's how the queen keeps herself alive, man. She gets fucking blood transfusions from like children, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Facts.
When she said when you told Wanda she wasn't the only magical girl in town, I instantly thought of Sailor Moon and like Madoka Magica.
Wow.
It was like really magical girl was like the best, like, you know, choice of words.
I mean, they're not gonna say witch, are they? You can say magical girl.
Yeah.
Is Sailor Moon a witch?
No, I mean Madoka Magica, the magical girl
She a
sent the
witch.
witches.
Yeah.
Who is the imposter Pietro and who is Scratchy? You want to take that as well, Sonny?
Scratchy and Steve.
The rabbit transforms into Pietro.
Ooh. No, okay. Possibly, but also from the way that the rabbit was in the house when Pietro was outside the house when he sees Monica at the end.
In the scene where Monica was looking in the hatch, there was a shadow moving in the window. So something could potentially have... The rabbit could have potentially transformed in the house and then just sped out.
That is true. With super speed.
Yes.
Pietro's speed, yeah.
And rabbits are pretty fast.
Yeah.
Also, ties into the mailman as well with the rabbit logo. But do you want to talk about more about Pietro?
Yeah, with Pietro, I feel like it's more than that because back in when Pietro first came into the show and the audio description is saying it's Pietro from the X-Men, I feel like that's too much of a wasted opportunity if they're just going to go, it's someone else being Pietro. If we stick with, like, I feel like the most fulfilling way they would do this is if it is Pietro from the X-Men. It's just like being controlled or whatever by Agatha. Not Pietro just completely being a different character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's kind of like building up stuff. Though I wouldn't rule out, what you were saying about Scratchy Pietro connection.
So yes.
And I guess we'll connect this to the mailman. He's been a pretty suspicious guy in the past few episodes. You know? And especially in this one, where he has the presto sign on his shirt. Maybe he'd be a magic man too.
He doesn't like bat an eye when he sees like Wanda manhandling.
Yeah, everyone else looks surprised, but
he just like, oh, and then like keeps watching.
Haha, Wanda's at it again, kids.
Have you guys watched the movie Presto?
No.
Yeah, because it was like about like a rabbit that does magic. I forgot the New Rockstar was talking about this and I forgot the plot.
That's actually a really good connection. Yeah, that could be a reference there.
All we need now is a top hat.
Yep.
Just pull the rabbit out of that.
Wait, actually, do you guys remember the magic episode? Episode 2, where there was a rabbit and a hat? Do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they borrowed Senior Scratchy, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they did, right?
So.
And Scratchy was like one of the things that went wrong because he went out of he walked away, you know?
They started hopping away.
Yeah. Interesting.
Another thing to bring up. So we're talking about Scratchy.
Yeah.
There's a thing called there's like a nickname called Old Scratch. I'll quote Wikipedia. Old Scratch or Mr. Scratch is a nickname or pseudonym for the devil. So this isn't just like a Marvel thing. This is like a historical culture thing.
Historical reference.
Maybe. What if Scratchy is Agatha's husband, Ralph?
Yeah.
True. Ralph wasn't in this episode, which is kind of surprising.
I think, other than disproving Agatha's kink for furries, I don't think it really talked about anything else.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
All right, let's talk about the engineer. So I'm pretty sure, and I wonder if you guys agree that the random sword people, none of them were the engineer because of the way in interviews, what's her name? The actress who plays Monica? Tayona Paris was going like, you guys won't be able to, you can't believe what this person's going to be like. Oh, it's going to be amazing. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say the engineer will make an appearance in like the next episode or the episode after. perhaps to like fix the rover that broke, make a better one. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know.
Yeah.
it's
Unless it reveals that
likely.
those people are Skrulls or something.
I feel like they could be, but we'll have to see.
Also, adding to the engineer theory, you know how we were talking about it could be Hank McCoy
Oh yeah.
of the X-Men. Yeah, because he builds spaceship in those. Yeah.
Oh, and since they brought in X-Men Pietro, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. As we're gearing towards the end, I want to revisit the question of who do you guys think is going to be the cameo? Because I think we can rule out Doctor Strange, because Mr. Vision actor man, what's his name? Paul Bettany, that it's definitely not Doctor Strange, and the cameo was definitely not Pietro. It's someone else. Who do you guys think?
He's Iron Man. Still putting my bet on Wolverine, even though he won't come. And he's not relevant to the show at all.
To you, I'm putting my bet on Magneto from the X-Men.
Okay, there. Some things are beautiful because we can't have them.
Yeah, man.
I feel like
this thing where Paul Bettany said it won't be Doctor Strange.
Oh, just look. It was a really recent interview.
Okay.
I watched it, so you can like.
Could he be like red herring throwing us off?
He could be, but at the same time, I don't know. It seemed like he's hyping up to be like more than Doctor Strange.
Potentially, yeah.
And since he was saying like it's someone he always wanted to work with and someone he hasn't worked with before, I feel like Magneto, he's played by both great actors. The younger version being, what's his name?
Funny man.
Oh, Fassbender, and the old one being Ian McKellen, who are both like very famous actors. So I feel like Magneto is probably my best bet. What about Kelvin and you, Sunman? What are your guesses?
I'm still gonna stick with Doctor Strange because in the like the advertisement for this video episode, it was like talk to your doctor, as like a reference to like talk to your doctor about taking these meds or whatever. But still, talk to your doctor is like could reference Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, why are you asking me? I haven't seen Infinity War Endgame, you know?
I mean, it can relate to basically anything now. We got a whole multiverse. Because remember, this has to really open up the multiverse by the end. So like, you can kind of take guesses from across the Marvel universe, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Squirrel Girl.
What do you guys think?
Schoolgirl. Sailor Moon. There.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll branch off on this. I saw a really interesting theory the other day about who the overall villain can be. Like, I know everyone's going Mephisto or maybe Nightmare, right? But
unlikely, but probably Mephisto.
I saw a very interesting theory that it could be what's his name? Doctor Strange guy. Baron Mordo, I think. Is that his name?
Yep.
Because the way they're like this, hypothetically, if Doctor Strange did come, they would basically be having a whole bunch of like magic people in this hex. And remember, Mordo's goal is to wipe out all magic. This would be a good way to gather them all together and eliminate. And he could be working with Agatha.
Very true.
Yeah, that was just an interesting theory. I don't know if that holds much. But yeah. What do you guys think Hayward's gonna do with what's he launching? What's he up to?
Oh, something big.
Indeed.
Big. Yeah.
I assume it won't be like a nuke because he wants to keep Vision.
That is true. He does want to keep it.
I'm considering whether it's like one of those like classic tropes of like a bio nuke that only kills living things and not robots.
True.
Yeah, but would that even exist in the 80s? Something.
This is in the modern day.
No, but like once it goes through the hex, you know?
We're up to modern day.
Yeah,
We're turning
we are.
something modern.
Oh, yeah,
Actually, we're in the future now, aren't we?
Oh, we're in the
They gotta
future.
go into like the modern Marvel timeline. We're in the future. We're in like 2025 or something, right?
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then final question: any other things that you think are gonna happen in the show? Like how will this get resolved? What do you guys think?
I don't know. It just happens.
Okay, no, wait. My point about the hex still stands. Even if it's modern times, the thing would still get changed.
No, not unless. So basically, you know how in the 80s episode, what was it, 80s? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
80s, right? They put
Yeah.
it in so it doesn't get changed. So if they put in a modern thing into a modern time hex, it doesn't get changed. That's what that episode was about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right then. If we have nothing more, I forgot that we have to do this, but we have to get on to cinematography then.
Yes. We won't forget about the
36 minutes in, boys.
Lord.
Yeah. It had lots of the Office, lots of Recreation, Modern Family, cinematography. Lots of those views. So, yeah. And even like the cinematography outside of the hex I think it was. I know we say it's like standard for Marvel, but it's actually like really good. Like it's good cinematography. Like we get some pretty cool shots with like Monica and the Rover and stuff.
Guess
Which
so.
might have been some of the more impressive cinematography in the entire series so far. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And moreover, do you guys want to add anything to that?
He's good.
All right.
I agree with it.
Editing and visuals. This is for an extension of what I was talking about with the Monica scene. You have some really cool hex effects because this has a lot more of seeing the hex and stuff. You get a cool transformation scene where Monica becomes Photon. It all looks very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I really liked when Wanda's in the house and everything's kind of like flickering and changing and shit. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of references to the other episodes. That's nice. Also, I was pretty impressed by the set design of Agnes's basement. It looks very cool. There's a lot of interesting details in like the background and stuff. Lots of like gateways and shit.
Yep. Tons of like skull heads, demon heads, runes.
Much which,
Very
and music. I really like the music in this. I think overall, I really like the production in this mainly because I watched like The Office, so like all of that quirky sitcom music and stuff, and like the Office intro that they had in here. That's all like felt like really faithful and nice, and a good juxtaposition with like the typical MCU music going on the other side.
Yeah.
Also, we can't forget about the Agatha All Along song. That was a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess anything more to add before we get into final verdict?
Nah.
Yeah, it doesn't know. Okay. Final verdicts, as usual. Take it away, Mr. Dio.
Cool episode. We get to see cool stuff happening. more developments. Yeah. Next episode. Is it the last? I think it is.
Next episode, second last.
Second last, alright. Hope to see more things coming. 7 out of 10.
Yeah. For me, I think this is a very well made episode. Lots of good stuff in here. I really like the office stuff. I think this is a lot of setup. It's building, and I feel like they really need to pay this off well, because some of this, it's getting a bit predictable with some of the Agnes stuff, and I found the engineer stuff a bit disappointing. So they better like actually pay that off properly in the next 2 episodes. So my rating here is kind of flexible depending on where the show goes from here. At the way it stands, I'm also thinking like a 6.5 on this one, maybe. No, I'll go for a 7, but this can change depending on where the show goes from here.
Yeah.
I think a solid 7.5.
7.5.
Visuals are very good. Setup is well set up. It's definitely set up. I can't say it's being done badly, but at the same time, adding on to what Jack said, if they don't pull it off, then if they don't pull it off well, then yeah, it's not good, not looking good for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think next episode will definitely be the turning point for people watching, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, solid 7.5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was hoping you went for a 7, so I could just go with an easy 7. But I'll go with a 7.5 instead. Looking by an average of 7.25.
Yeah.
Easy. Nice episode.
All right. Thank you guys for watching another WandaVision review. As always, give a like if you like, give a like even if you dislike, and subscribe for more content like this. And yeah, two more episodes to go.
Surprise 10th.
Oh yeah, that's it. Actually, if you want to talk about that, I feel like, you know how people are saying that it might be a 10th episode? I think that that's actually just the, you know how you see like when they're watching the sitcom stuff that you haven't seen in the show before?
Bonus episode.
I think that's just the filming of that, and people are like, oh, that a 10th episode? No, I think it's just that extra footage is the 10th episode.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's the episode, I guess.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.